Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live. We've been doing lives for quite some time because I just want to connect with you in real time. If this is your first time, my name is Popsann Francis. I'm the founder of Women Healing Together and the CEO of DP Wellness. And welcome to Women Healing Together, where we heal so much better when we heal together. This is the channel where we deal with all things women. So if you are a woman, if you're a part of a circle of women, then this is your space and your place. So thank you so much for coming. I'm just going to slow it down a little bit to give us some time to send the link to someone. Please share with someone. Please share with someone even now, as we're going to be delving into what I believe is a very important topic as we focus on really our mental health and just moving from the past. So just giving you a hint there. So hi, let me see. Oh my God, this the Instagram handles always is this Creps. All right, I'm just going to spell it CREPS. Z or Z, depending on where you're from. I know the last three, I see your hearts on Instagram. The last three letters, they actually spell Kim. So I'm going to work with Kim. All right, _. Chrissy from, it's Kimberly. Wonderful. Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for saving me, right? The handles get me all the time. Sexy Petri, I can't manage it. Sexy Petri, what's going on? Instagram massive are rolling in. Waiting on the Facebook massive to come. Oh, hold on a minute. Okay, so we are live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. And we are live on YouTube. Again, we're going to be talking about a very, very important topic. And if you see me just alternating the eye contact, it's because I'm using two devices. So this is my YouTube family. Hey. And this is my IG family. Hey. Hi, my dear. Welcome to another live. So we're not going to be long this evening. Although, listen, if you are here for the last live, when we spoke about how we can really mitigate against burnout, how we can prepare for it and avoid it. If you were here for that live, wasn't it amazing? Because I'm coming on to spend like 30 minutes, and we ended up going for over an hour because the questions were coming in and the comments were coming in and the energy was great and the atmosphere was wonderful and the ladies were just pouring and they were just sharing. It was just really, really awesome. If you did not catch that last live about tips to avoid burnout, I'm going to suggest that you go on YouTube and catch that live. And we also did a live before that. How can we know that we are heading to burnout before it happens? So those two lives, just go and find them on YouTube. Now, if you're catching the live for the very first time because someone shared the link with you, or if you're watching the broadcast or the rebroadcast, especially on YouTube, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I'm going to ask you to hit the subscribe to the channel and hit the all post notification bell, because the topics that we deal with here on Women Healing Together, it is for us. It is our space and our place where we address issues that affect us as women. So our safe space and our safe place. So ensure that you hit the all notification bell, not just subscribe, but hit the bell so that whenever we go live or we post content, you will be the first to know. Also, I'm going to ask you to give this video a thumbs up. So if you are on the live, I know you're on the live and I know you're with me, but I also want you to give the video a thumbs up and let us chat. Let us chat. So we're going to delve in right now. So as I always say, let's dig in. But before we dig in, I want to show you something. Just as a reminder, because I think especially if people... Sorry. Especially if people are new. That's for YouTube people. I put something on those just now. Yeah, especially for people who are new, they may ask the question like, what is Women Healing Together all about? Why should I even bother to be a part of this, community? How will my life be impacted? And I'm just going to put this on screen. So I help women, and for those on Instagram, you're not able to see it, but I'll just say it. So I help women with the 4 E's. Number one is to embrace your self-worth and to find inner peace, because from time to time as women, I believe we all struggle with that. Am I worthy? Am I beautiful enough? Am I this enough? Am I that enough? And just the inner peace sometimes can be disturbed by circumstances of life. Then number two is to enjoy happy and healthy relationships. Relationships are not easy. In fact, they are the hardest things that you will do in your life, whether they be intimate relationship, familial relationship, professional relationship. Challenges will come. So I want to help you as you help me and as we help each other to enjoy happy and healthy relationships. Then number three is to equip yourself with knowledge to make better choices. Am I the only one who has made bad choices in life? Hello, somebody. Hello, lovely. Where are you? Right? So to equip ourselves with knowledge to make better choices. And then finally, to empower other women and other girls. And one of the ways that you can empower other women and girls in your life is by sharing the link with a sister, whether it be a biological sister or otherwise. Share the link in your groups of women. Share the links on your social media platform of the videos so that other women can be benefited. So of the 4 E's, all right, of the 4 E's, we are going to be addressing all of them, yes, but number one and number three. So number one, embrace self-worth and inner peace, especially that inner peace part. And then number three, to equip yourself with knowledge to make better choices. Hence, what's the theme for this evening? Have I put it on? I don't think I've put it on IG, the title. That's okay. I'll put it in afterwards. So the title for this evening, or the issue that we'll be addressing, is how to deal with past mistakes. How to deal with past mistakes. Like, this one is so serious. I don't like the handle, not the handle, but the angle of the IG camera. Let me see if I can make it a little better. Yeah, that looks much better. It was too high in the sky. All right, let me see. All right, this looks better. Not the way I want it, but it's better. All right, so how to deal with past mistakes. No, if you have ever made a mistake or erred in judgment or do something that you're not supposed to do, or you did not do something that you were supposed to do, please type 1 in the chat. You're like, yeah, I can relate. I have done something that I was not supposed to do, or I have not done something that I should have done. Type a 1 in the chat. Let me know, or send up those heart emojis if you are on IG. How to avoid past mistake. I'll be the first person. I'll be the first person to, like, I don't even want to put the number 1. I want to just like raise my hand like, yes. I've made mistakes. And sometimes, you know what? We live in the realm of those mistakes. Those past mistakes, we live in the realm of them. So much so that they imprison us. So much so that they cause us to doubt our self-worth. Definitely, it decimates our inner peace. So we always have that internal conflict, always overthinking, always living in regret. And that really can it can really stifle your progress. It can really steal the joy from your present. It can really have a devastating impact on your relationships as well. And even for those of us who are Christians, it can really also affect your interaction and relationship with Jesus Christ. And that is why it's important for us to tackle this issue of how to effectively address how to effectively deal with the past mistakes that I have made, that you have made, that we have made. I'm going to be sharing about 6 tips with you as we talk, and feel free to comment as well if this video is adding value to your life. So let's dig in, like, yeah, really dig in now. All right. So number one, the first thing I would say is to separate the past from the present. I know that we have done X, Y, and Z. I know that we have messed up A, B, and C. I know that we have caused hurt. I know that we have caused pain, not only to others, but also to ourselves. I know that we feel as if we have let down ourselves. We have let down those with whom we come in contact, with those whom we value. I know that we feel as if we have let down God, and it's like, what's happening? But the first thing is to differentiate the past from the present. Okay. So what I did last year and what I did a month ago and what I did 10 years ago or 15 years ago or when I was a child or an early adult, there's really nothing that you can do about that right now. It is in the past. And I want to stress this point because what we do sometimes as women, like, I don't want to be stereotypical, but it has been said that women are, and science has proven it too, that women are more emotional in comparison to the average man. And I want to say the average man because some men are emotional as well. So what that does is that we live in our emotions and we live in our feelings, and we drag the past from the past and we put it in our present. So instead of enjoying the blessings of the present, instead of enjoying the forgiveness that we have received, right, from others, from God, we tend to put the past right here. And because of that, we miss out so many blessings in our life. So what I want us to do, and you could even jot this down, draw a table, have 2 columns, talk about the things that, the mistakes that you have made in the past. And then now in the second column, you're going to be listing the things that are going well for you in the present. You could also list the lesson that you have learned from that particular mistake, from that particular error in judgment, all right? When you stepped out of your normal character, even if it is your character to do the things that you did in the past, what have you learned? That will really help you to separate the past from the present. Because as I said, guess what? Worrying about the past will not change anything. And I know it's difficult because when guilt and shame and regret, when they take a hold of you, it seems as if they will never let go. The grip is so strong. I know. But one way you could help to just mitigate against that and to move from the past is by separating the past from the present. Number 2, second tip number 2. Second tip number 2. That's so redundant. Tip number 2. Understand, and this is something that I'm speaking to myself right now, right? Understand that the anticipation of the thing can be worse than the thing itself. This is where anxiety comes in. The anticipation of that thing in the past can be worse than the thing itself. Because we're so concerned about the mistakes that we have made in the past, because we are so caught up in all the regret, because we are so caught up in all the shame, in all the guilt. It's like we're living our lives in anticipation of the hurt and the pain that was associated with that event or that situation. We're also living with the anticipation of the consequences. And you may have met the consequences a long time ago. You may have had to apologize. You may have had to wheel and come again. You may have had to really separate from some friends or separate from a relationship or just change your mindset and tell yourself that I'm going to be better and I'm going to do better. But the anticipation of maybe the situation or the circumstance or even the action reoccurring again, it robs us from the blessing of the future. The anticipation of the thing is sometimes worse than the thing itself. I'm going to draw an analogy. If you have been in a car accident, all right, if you have been in a car accident, you know, especially if it was a serious accident where you're really traumatized, your body is going to keep the score, because the body does keep the score of trauma. What I'm saying is that the body records the pain and the anxiety and your reaction in the moment of whatever you experience. So we're using a car accident as the analogy for this evening. Now, what happens after the accident, or potentially what can happen after the accident, is that you're driving or someone is driving, and there is no sign of immediate danger. There is no sign that there is going to be an accident or an incident. But because of what you went through in the past, or the mistake that you did in the past, or because of the accident, based on the analogy that we're using, you keep slamming on the imaginary brake. All right, you keep slamming on the imaginary brake. You're anticipating that there is an accident. So the body goes into the fight or flight mode, which increases the adrenaline. Yes, but it also increases the bad hormones. Those hormones that cause us to be stressed, those hormones that are the nursery for anxiety, that are the nursery for depression, that are the nursery for just agitation, those hormones flood our bodies. They flood our bodies, and there was no accident, but we're still experiencing the effect of an accident. Hence, me saying that the anticipation is sometimes worse than the thing itself. So remember, we are doing our best to deal with past mistakes. So 2 things I've shared so far: separate the past from the present, because really worrying over the past will not fix the present anyway, and will not erase what we have done or what you have done or what I have done in the past that we feel ashamed of, right? And then, as I said, number 2, just check yourself. Let us check ourselves. Let me say let us check ourselves, because sometimes the anticipation is worse than the thing itself. Is this really happening right now, or is it out of the fear of what has happened before that is causing me to react? The other last week, Thursday, if you follow my husband and I, we have a channel called The Francises on YouTube, and we're also on Instagram at _Francises. We released a video about how a man can really defend his wife, and this was in direct relation to just taking a different perspective, but in direct relation to what happened at the Oscars with Will and Chris Rock, right? Will Smith and Chris Rock. And one of the things he said in the video is this: he says responding is different from reacting. So let us bring that into what we're saying here on Women Healing Together. When we anticipate that something bad is going to happen, even if there is no evidence or indication of that bad thing, really we tend to react and not respond. All right, and that's why we're saying check yourself. Let us check ourselves. Point number 3: how to deal with past mistakes, how to deal with those things that you're ashamed of, those things that you regret, those things that you wish you had never done, those things that people may just dangle in front of you. I don't even want to say dangle, because dangle is like you're appealing or you want to appetize, but those mistakes that persons will throw in your face and that you will throw in your own face in the secret chambers of your mind. Point number 3: tell yourself, I am not the first to experience this. I'm not the first to have done this. I'm not the first to have said this, and unfortunately we won't be the last, because the truth is, the mistakes that we have made, we would try to help others to avoid making those mistakes. The reality is that somebody else will make the mistake, because People like to learn from their own mistakes, it seems, and not just listen to what somebody has said before, which is unfortunate, but it happens to all of us. So point number 3 is to tell yourself, I'm not the first person to have experienced this. I'm not the first person to have done this. This is in no way negating the responsibility of what we have done wrong. This is in no way trying to avoid the consequences. This is no way of saying, oh, I was justified in doing what I did because of you. No, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that when we make mistakes, we tend to believe that we are the only persons on this earth who has ever done something like that. And when we go into that mindset, the shame is just horrendous, because we don't feel as if we can talk to someone, we don't feel as if anybody can relate, and then the mistakes, as I said before, we are incarcerated by them. We're incarcerated by them. So just remind yourself, just let us remind ourselves that we are not the first person to experience this. And because we're not the first person to experience this, it means that there is a community somewhere, or there is somebody somewhere who can relate, because I'm not the first. All right. The Bible tells us that there is nothing new under the sun. It also tells us that the temptation that we undergo, many persons have undergone them, and they have fallen sometimes. All right. So remember that. Point number 4, very, very important. Point number 4 is to research. Research. I made a mistake. I did something wrong, and you're telling me to research. No, if you are just joining us on IG or on Facebook or on Instagram, did I say Instagram, IG, right? So if you're joining us on IG, on Facebook, or on YouTube, we are talking about how to deal with past mistakes, how to address them so they do not rob you from your present, they do not rob you from your blessings, they do not rob you from you really enjoying what life has to offer. So we have shared 3 secrets already, or 3 points. Now we're going to point number 4. 3, now 4. All right. So point number 4, research. Why is it important for us to research? Separate perception from reality. That is why. It separates perception from reality. The other day I was watching something, I think on YouTube or something like that, and someone lost a child. And the lady, she was saying, I wonder if it was something that I did or something that I didn't do. It was actually Deblier Snell and his wife, or I think her name is Jillian or Gian, I don't remember, right? So yeah, so I was watching them, and they had many miscarriages. In fact, I think they had 4, and that's Pastor Deblier. I see the hearts going up on Instagram. Hey, all right. So they had 4 miscarriages, and after 4 miscarriages, it's like, what did I do? We're talking about how to avoid or how to deal with past mistakes. She was saying, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Did I didn't do something? And she really went into that depression where she was angry with God, where she was in isolation. She was hurting, of course, most definitely she was hurting. But then guess what? After going to the doctors and then going to the specialist, which is research, right? Research doesn't necessarily mean going on the internet and pong, 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 ping, ping, ping on YouTube, which, that can happen as well. But both her and Pastor, they started going to the doctor. They went to a high-risk pregnancy specialist, and they found out that it was not her fault. Not her fault. So that helped her to separate perception from reality. So she's not shackled by the past mistakes. Does that make sense, right? Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know on YouTube, Facebook, and on IG, right? So research is so important. She could have spent the rest of her life saying, I was the fault for the 4 miscarriages, when it was just a medical issue. You get what I'm saying? And that was corrected. And now they have 3 beautiful, healthy, God-fearing, handsome, and pretty children. All right? So what is it that you need to look into that will help you to move from that past mistakes or those past mistakes shackling you? Maybe it really wasn't your fault, or even if you did something, analyze and see what the circumstances were. Point number five. Point number five. How to deal with past mistakes. Point number five. Ask someone who has experienced what you experienced. Yeah. Connection. Women healing together. So talk to women or any person who has experienced what you have experienced. And this does not mean that when you're talking to someone, you have to say, you know, I did this when I was, and give them the whole story in order for to get their opinion. That's not necessary. You could bring something hypothetical. You could say, you know, I just want to ask you something as I'm developing. I know that you have been through, or have you been through this? How did you cope? Okay. And it doesn't even have to be something direct. The internet is like everywhere. Go on YouTube, go on Google, type in, listen to the experience of others. If you're shy, you don't want to just step to someone and say, you know, have you ever gone through this? Have you ever made this mistake? Have you ever had this error in judgment? Have you ever done this that's bad, or something that was unacceptable? Can you share with me how you feel? Because the truth is, persons do not like to talk about what they have done wrong. Which one of us would come on YouTube or Facebook and just reel out all the mistakes that we have made in the past? We won't. You know why? Because some of us are still ashamed. Some of us feel guilty. All right. So even if you do not know anybody in your immediate circle is willing to share and be vulnerable, find out from others whom you don't know. Grab a video, read an article, see how persons have coped. And trust me, that will allow you to feel as if you are not alone. And not only feel, because you are not alone. We are women healing together. All right. And then tip number 6. Tip number 6 is very, very important. Of all I've said this evening, if you have not heard anything else, I want you to hear tip number 6. But before I give you tip number 6, I am going to just reiterate or just list the previous points. Number 1, separate your past from your present. What you have done in the past does not have to dictate your present, but what you do in the present will definitely have an impact on your future. All right. So let us please take stock, or stock, they say. Is it stock or stock? Stock. It's like stock, right? Yeah. Let us take stock of what is happening now. Okay. Number 2, understand that sometimes the anticipation of the bad thing or the recollection of the bad thing, of that mistake, is worse than the thing itself. Just going over it, gurgitating over and mulling, it doesn't help. I can't talk. It just doesn't help. Number 3, tell yourself that you are not the first person to experience this. So you don't have to feel as if you're a lost cause because you made a mistake in the future. Because if others have moved past it, you can also move past it. Number 4, do some research. Do some research. Get some perspective. If you believe that you're the cause of your health condition, go to the doctor and find out actually a professional opinion. Do some research. See how other persons, which leads me to number 5, ask someone who has experience. Let them share how they overcame, because if they overcame, you can also overcome. And if you do not have someone directly on a one-to-one to talk with, then do some reading, watch some videos, join a group, join a YouTube channel of women, wink, 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 so you can hear how other women have overcome. So here is point number 6. Point number 6, if you're just joining, oh, hey, my YouTube fam, we're almost done. We're almost done, but thank you so much for still joining. We're talking about how to deal with past mistakes so that they do not shackle you for the rest of your life. We do not want that enslavement for the rest of our lives. Point number 6. Are you ready for it? Forgive yourself. Yeah. I believe that some of us find it easier to forgive others when it comes on to forgiving self, because you have to live with yourself 24/7, right? It's easy. It's sometimes I think it's easier to forgive others because we don't see them every day. And even if we do see them every day, they're not living in our minds and they're not living within us. So at least we can take a break from them, even if not physically, mentally, or emotionally. But we can never take a break from ourselves. And even those women who may use substance abuse to escape, it's going to wear off sometime and you have to live with yourself. So that's why I think it's so hard to forgive yourself. But you can and you should. And it means sometimes, not sometimes, forgiving yourself means you're making a decision. You're actually making a decision to look at the 5 tips I used before to help and say, I can move past my mistakes. My mistakes don't define who I am, but I can learn from them to become a better me. And forgiving ourselves means that every time that negative inner voice comes to us, which sometimes it's not just a negative inner voice, it's the enemy himself, the devil himself, who's trying to trap us in the past. It's a continual thing. It's a continual thing where when the doubts come and the regret and the shame come, where you say to yourself, I have forgiven myself. I have forgiven myself. Yes, I've done what I've done, but I have forgiven myself. And that's a journey that we will continue to take as women. Let me know. We're going to close off for today. I told you I wasn't going to keep you long this evening. Let me know if this video has added value to your life. Are there mistakes that you have? You don't have to tell me the mistakes. It's not my business to know what mistakes or erring judgment or stupid thing or unstupid thing or whatever thing you did in the past. That's not my prerogative. My prerogative this evening, or my aim this evening, is to let you know that you do not have to allow your past mistakes to keep you shackled, because there are ways to deal with them. Thank you so much for coming. As always, please remember to like the video. Please remember to share the video. There is a sister right now who is struggling with past mistakes, and she is depending on you to share this video. There's a sister who doesn't even know that you exist, but she will come across your IG page. She will come across your Facebook page. She'll come across your YouTube channel. She'll come across your social media platform, anyone, and she needs to see the link as a lifesaver because she's at her wit's end. Maybe it's not somebody external, maybe it's you. So if you want to go back and you want to watch this video again, you didn't jot the points down, you want to jot them down so you can actively employ them so that you can move from past to actually living in your present, I encourage you to do so. Remember, I want to wish for you a wonderful, wonderful week. You've got this. You've got this. Yes, you do. You're going to have a prosperous week. You're going to have a blessed week. When the challenges come, you're going to mount them. You're going to take a break and you're going to ask the Lord Jesus Christ to hold your hand and to take you through the challenges. I'm Popsann, and remember that we heal so much better when we heal together. God bless you. I'm going to close off now, okay? Bye. Just finding the outro. I can't find it. Okay, I got it. Bye.